much time we wasted in school learning about stuff that was not important? Knowledge is so important that why would I want to waste time learning something that is so irrelevant to me? And not only is it irrelevant, it's not true.
I was so blown away when I learned about the true age of the world, roughly 6,000 years versus the hundreds of millions of years that we're taught. The Bible is reliable for historical context as well. Not saying,
right.
But at its bare minimum, from a scientific perspective, we can look at it as a valid historical piece of reference.
About it that really gets me is we are the ones who are suffering the most. Every area of life, every industry you can think of, we are the ones that lack the most.
We're going public with this right now. Like a city on a These systems we inherently want to trust. We inherently think oh, they wouldn't lead me astray whole time. Even the educational system, I told you, I remember where you was telling us the history of the world and stuff, and I'm just what? I was so blown away when I learned about the true age of the world, us being roughly 6,000 years versus the hundreds of millions of years that we're taught in school. This is taught to us in school. Who would not trust a teacher? So now every time I'm going to a museum or Fernbeck or something like that, I'm side-eyeing because y'all got these plaques we're talking about, that it's crazy to me. So it's it can be very challenging and tough, but it's if we lean on God's design, where did he say that? Where in the Bible does it say that the world
be proof of everything that's
it's
true?
Historical text, even for those that may not view, be a Christian or whatever like that. The Bible is reliable for historical context as well. Not saying that you should not. I mean, it is biblical truth anyway, spiritually as well.
Right.
But at its bare minimum, from a scientific perspective, we can look at it as a valid historical piece of reference for you to deconstruct some of the things that are taught. So it's I see now why they wanted this whole separation of church and state when it comes to, education and things like that, because then it takes away your ability to feed truth to, children, you know what I mean? So it's now they're leaning towards, other things because you've taken truth off the table for them.
Yep, absolutely. And we it's I think we really don't realize the buying power that we have as a collective. So people who have the same beliefs really should think about putting their money together, their resources together, their minds together to do something different than the status quo. Because if enough people, let's just on a hypothetical level say, if enough people remove their children out of school because they disagree with just that information, like the history that they're being taught, and then science is being taught, and because it's just not true. If they took their children out of school, that is buying power that you now take back. So depending on the administration that's in office and the rules that you can navigate, you can automatically educate your child for less than what they're paying to educate your child and get that money to do so back from the state. There are ways that people can actually enforce and do the things they need to do if we were willing to band together, stand up for the truth that we know, and let the people who are the experts or people who are experienced in those fields figure out the way to navigate it. Because it should be no way that any Christian family is allowing their child to go and be educated. I understand from a financial perspective, you don't have other options, but just experiencing what I have experienced since coming out of high school and just pursuing truth on my own.
Yeah.
I tell Darius all the time, do you know how much time we wasted in school learning about stuff that was not important? I think I could have 2 or 3 degrees by now because of just the information that if I would have learned it differently, I could have pursued, other paths. Not saying I wouldn't have chosen the career that I chose, but just knowledge is so important that why would I want to waste time learning something that is so irrelevant to me? And not only is it irrelevant, it's not true.
Come on. I mean, hey.
Learning things that are actually true. And maybe I would have understood science at a better level. You know what I'm saying? And pursue something different. But y'all got us out here learning like it's so much curriculum that is so pointless. But they
Children
make
are,
kids.
I don't want to say dumb, but like that's the first thing that came to
No,
mind. Children are dumber than they were, like, because like what
that
is this core math? What are we doing here? Like it makes no sense. Like, so even like going into like how they're dismantling DOE, like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like historically, what they're showing us, like the numbers and statistics, our children are not
they're not
bright, they're not
doing
getting
it.
smarter. With
No,
all the advancements in technology, we have more children now that cannot are not proficient in reading, you know. So it's just like the evidence does not support us continuing to pour into these educational systems because it's obvious
correct,
obvious that it's not working. So
correct.
instead of us being mad about it, you should think about the blessing in it. Sometimes like I think we get so caught
Mhm.
up on like, oh my God, like again, because it's the way that we always operated. But it's like,
Yeah,
what's the blessing in it? Like maybe what is God trying to protect me from in this? You know what I'm saying? What is he trying to
mhm.
expose? Yeah, it may be more inconvenient to, seek out a charter school or a Christian based school that is like deeply rooted in the things of God.
Right,
But isn't it more beneficial to ultimately have your children be taught in a way that is in alignment with your values versus them having to go through this whole, because this is a hot topic phrase, deconstruction of faith and things like that.
right.
But if we're built up on a proper foundation, then we're solid. You know what I mean? The reason why we're deconstructing is because the foundation was faulty.
Yeah, correct.
The foundation be destroyed, what will the righteous do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's and I think people are getting shaken up a lot of times because so many things, like it's almost like when you start uncovering truth, right? It's like one thing connects to another thing, connects to another thing. So you have to really almost like dismantle it all and rebuild it
Mm-hmm.
all because they're all so interwoven.
Yep.
And people have to be willing for the sake of the masses to be uncomfortable for a certain amount of time
Yeah.
and then build a new level of comfort or confidence in what we're doing
Yeah.
because it's so much brokenness from every area of life. And the part about it that really gets me is we are the ones who are suffering the most
Yeah.
in every area of life, every industry you can think of. We are the ones that lack the most.